dumb. Hello, we are live, and I thought scheduling something would actually make it do it on its own, but it doesn't. You actually still have to click the live button. Seth is with me tonight. It is, oh, I'm going to say it's Friday night. It's Saturday night, and we're going to talk about Superman.
Oh. So there.
Returns. No, we discussed. What's that?
You were freezing up there for a minute.
Okay, well, now am I not freezing up? It's probably because I haven't restarted my computer in a few days. But yeah, we're talking about Superman Returns. This is a thing we're going to do all the Superman movies that are just Superman, not like the Justice League or anything like that. All Superman live action movies. And really, if you think about it,
whoa! I'm just trying to share it.
Well, share it. Hurry. Anyway, we're going to be discussing Superman movies. And it seems like we're kind of going almost in order of worst to first at this point, because we talked about Quest for Peace last week, and why don't we do 3 next time? Sounds Superman good. 3. I did forget to contact Joe originally. I talked about getting him on the show. We'll get him on the show eventually. So if you're here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, or don't. Comment, let us know what you think. We're going to try something a little different. We're going to watch the trailer for Superman Returns and kind of comment on that because. So, you ready for the trailer?
Yep.
All right, let's let me. Here we go. Oh, God. I thought I hit play already. I guess not. Here we go.
You've been gone a long time.
Hopefully it's not too loud.
Sounds fine for me.
Even though you've been raised as a human being, you are not one of them.
He's pretty.
It's not easy for me to live my life being who I am, keeping secrets.
Mark, hey, welcome back. I see you've already met the Munchkin.
Hello. Yeah, well, you've been gone. Fearless reporter Lois Lane is a mommy. But if you ask me, she's still in love with you know who.
They're getting ready to show something that I wanted to comment on. It's when he's in space. His cape looks like it's rubber.
The world doesn't need a savior. I need the try. Lex Luthor.
This is kind of a little reunion, isn't it? Heck, I'm a fan. I'll have advanced technology. Thousands of years beyond what anyone could throw at me.
But millions of people will die.
Billions.
They're right there. Doesn't look rubber, like rubber.
Yeah.
Bad CG.
Come on,
Superman will.
Bring it on!
If this was an Italian film, that would have went right through his eye.
Yep, that's true. So that showed pretty much the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that showed pretty much everything that happens in the entire movie, right there. So What did you think the first time you saw the trailer?
I was excited because at that point we hadn't had a Superman movie in a long time,
19 years.
and yeah, and just having them use Marlon Brando, his voice, and it looked to me better than it actually turned out to be. But what about you?
Alex, hello. Yeah, I was excited too. I didn't realize that the trailers were going to give away just about everything in the movie, because every cool part that happens in the movie was just shown in the trailer. So rather than watching 2.5 hours and being almost dreadfully bored, you could just watch the trailer like, oh, I get it. I get it. Although you do miss out on Brandon Routh's performance, which was very good in my opinion.
Yeah.
He got shortchanged. They didn't give him a sequel, and he got kind of a crappy movie. There's some good parts about the movie, though. Like the plane scene is really cool.
Yep.
And some of the stuff with the islands was cool, but man, Lois Lane, I did not like the casting of Lois Lane. That's 2 in a row for me because I don't like the whatever her name is. I can't think of her name.
From Man of Steel.
Yeah, Amy Adams. I don't like her very much. Yeah, as Lois, she's okay. She's better than Kate Bosworth.
I agree.
But I like the Perry White casting. I thought that was Frank Langella, Jimmy Olsen, whatever. Everybody else was fine. Lex Luthor was a good casting, even though he's a creep now. Everything else was fine, but Kate Bosworth, she took me out of the movie a little bit. She was a bitch, and Superman was a stalker, and I don't know. Let's give us your opinions, everybody out there that's watching, anybody who's out there watching or watches. Let me know what you think of Superman Returns, parts you like, parts you didn't like. The CG was really rough, and we were only 2 years from Iron Man, which had an amazing display of CGI.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the story. What did you think overall? First viewing.
Overall, I'm pretty mixed on the movie. There are certain aspects of it that I really like. I liked, to a certain degree, I liked that it was a continuation of the original series. I liked seeing the classic credits and the John Williams score.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Brandon Routh
in the theater, by the way.
Yeah,
he scored. Yeah. That was a great moment in the theater because I don't think I knew at the time that was happening. And so when it happened, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. And I liked Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. I think he kind of embodied Gene Hackman a little bit with his performance.
Mm-hmm.
I like Parker Posey as his henchwoman. But overall, the movie is kind of boring. I was watching it today. Like you said, Lois Lane wasn't very good. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just, I wish it was better. And I wish Brandon Routh got a better Superman movie because I thought he was really good in it.
Yeah, I did too. He played a great Christopher Reeve Superman, and I mean, he could have done it standing on his own. I think, in my opinion, like when I first saw it, I remember coming out of the theater on a complete high. I was so happy, like Superman was back. But then, like, I had a friend with me, my friend Dan, he was the Superman guy, I was the Batman guy, and we were sitting there at Denny's one night, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We were actually discussing making a documentary about going to conventions and stuff called Fandom something or other, and it doesn't matter. But anyway, we were talking about it, and we got talking about Superman Returns, and because we were talking about even trying to do a show like where we talk to each other for a website we were going to do at like a diner, kind of like what Jerry Seinfeld does for Netflix. I don't know if you've seen it, the comedians in cars getting coffee, something along those lines. This was back in 2007, and we were talking about setting up 2 cameras, and he was going to edit it all together. Of course, it never happened because that guy is all talk. But anyway. we were discussing Superman Returns, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm very happy it happened." You know, we got a Batman movie one year, then we got Superman movie one year. He's like, my friend Dan tells me, he's like, "Well, that's great and all, but why didn't they just do a new Superman movie instead of coattailing Superman 2?" And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, they could have started a shared, he didn't say shared universe, but they could have started Batman and Superman and have them meet in a second movie or a third movie. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't think about that.
Mhm.
And he had shown me this manipulation meme thing where it was, you know, Batman from Batman Begins holding kryptonite up to, you know, Brandon Routh Superman's face. And I'm like, oh shit, man, that would be amazing. You know, world's
Yeah.
finest. And of course they never did it, and I've seen so many, you know, different images that could have been from before and that never happened, and it was a huge mistake on DC's part. Why did they go back to that? Which started my whole "I hate when they skip over films" thing.
Yeah.
Returns. But yeah, I mean, overall I was happy, but after thinking about it, I was like, they should have, it should have been the reboot of Superman. We could have had the Superman and the Dark Knight and have those two together in a movie. Like, I would have done Superman Returns, but a different story where it's kind of a like a Batman Begins type movie. Done the Dark Knight in 2008, and then done another Superman in 2009, and 2010 do Batman versus Superman or something, or Batman and Superman. You know, I think that would have been much better than the way it went, because obviously we never got Brandon Routh again. And having, you know, the Lex Luthor character and stuff like that, and Superman, the second Superman movie, they could have started visiting other ideas like cloning Superman and having Bizarro, or
Mhm.
you know, having some alien come, you know, or Metallo. There's so many different bad guys that we've never seen Superman deal with, because they just kept going to, you know, eccentric billionaires who, you know, stupid. And that was
Yeah.
why it was kind of a relief when Man of Steel came out that Lex Luthor was not even in the movie anywhere. It's like, oh, cool. But then they're like, it's going to be Zod. It's like, fuck. Can't we get away from the movie stuff and see, you know, Brainiac or something? Because Brainiac or Bizarro, let's go.
Or even Metallo.
Yeah, Metallo would have been awesome. They did a really good job with Metallo on Smallville.
Mhm.
So,
Yep.
I mean,
I agree.
they could have done all kinds of stuff, but this put DC, I think this set DC back by 10 years, Superman Returns. Because, you know, Man of Steel comes out 7 years later, and this should have been the Man of Steel. And I mean, we could be looking at 2020 and 2021 a whole different light with DC. They could have started before Marvel, but they fucked up. You know, they could have had Batman, Christian Bale as Batman, even though I like Ben Affleck better. They could have, you know, they could have done so much more. Instead, they decided to make another sequel, another Superman 3.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, of course, but what are you gonna do?
I agree. I think that's all Brian Singer's fault, really. I think he was the one that really wanted to do the sequel. And he talked about, even after the movie was released, how he wanted to do the romantic Superman story, which is it doesn't really work for me as a fan. But I mean, even ignoring 3 and 4, it was really useless.
Yeah,
Because I mean, what did they benefit from that? Martha Kent's still alive and still has a farm. Whoopity doo. The only big benefit was the stupid idea with the kid. I know Superman has a kid in the comics now, but you know, because I don't know. It just seemed useless. Like part of me liked the nostalgia factor that they went back to the old
I think
series.
that's all it was. I think
Yeah.
that's all it was.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't have the universe built again. It almost seemed like it was lazy on Bryan Singer's part, rather than coming up a cool new way to do Superman. And really, they could have just used. I mean, his origin story. Everybody knows it. They could have done it really fast through the credits and
Yeah.
made it like, you know, 20 years later or something like that. Well, 30 years later, and Superman is active. And you know, there's so many ways they could have gone about it. Even with Man of Steel, which I love that movie. We spent an hour with him before he even puts the suit on. It's unnecessary. Just like Batman Begins spent an hour. It's exactly 1 hour on Batman Begins before Batman puts the costume on. Do we need to see these origin stories played out again? We've seen Batman's. I mean, that's one thing about BVS that I absolutely love. We see it in Batman stuff in the fucking credits. Just like Friday the 13th, 09. They put that shit in the credits.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying. There, Alex is. They could have started in 05 really, because that's when Batman Begins came out, and that's why I have such a big problem with Superman Returns. It's a fine movie, but it's forgettable. It's kind of a throwaway movie. You know, I can't even say that about Quest for Peace because it finishes up for the most part that line of movies. Where Superman Returns was just like, oh, how much money did they waste on this movie? Actually, now let me see what the budget and all that jazz was, because it does feel like it's a waste of a movie. Although we did get Brandon Routh come back in the Superman, or not Superman, the CW
Crisis.
Crisis, which she looked really cool and everything. I'll put him back up on the screen because I did not get rid of the images from last time. Oh, boom. And he looks awesome. But like, so Superman Returns, it actually has a 75% on Rotten Tomatoes, 6.0 on IMDb. Let's see here. I'm trying to find out budget and how much it made. It made 391 million on a 223 budget. That's a lot of a lot of money, and it flopped. That's probably why we never saw the sequel. And I've heard different thing. That canceled sequel. It was going to come out in mid 2009. Everybody was coming back, and there's a rumor that it was going to be Bizarro, and they're going to have two villains, Bizarro and Brainiac, which would have been amazing in my opinion. But we didn't get that. We got this, and then they let Nolan do his thing, and when Nolan was done, they we got the DCEU after Nolan was done with his movies, which that would have saved even more time if they would have just been like, okay, The Dark Knight Rises, let's throw a Superman thing in there, and then Superman Man of Steel can be, because that makes Batman around for like 8 or 9 years. Don't get me started on Dark Knight Rises though.
Well, the whole problem with that is that Christopher Nolan wasn't interested in bigger DC universe. He wanted his Batman trilogy to be on its own. He's even come out and spoken out against it before. And that was kind of a problem. Like, I like Christopher Nolan's trilogy, but I don't know. Like, I just wish that because they could have had the jump start on Marvel for sure.
Yeah, and having a guy like Bryan Singer, whose X-Men movies were pretty decent. Even the last one that he did, which I guess was Apocalypse, wasn't it? Yeah. That wasn't all that bad. I mean, they probably could have done a lot. Starting with Superman, they technically, they had that rule that we discussed before, where you can't have multiple Superman. They could have had a new Batman if Christopher Nolan said, no, this is my own thing. They could have cast somebody else at that point. As a matter of fact, in 2009, I think they were going to make God, what's his name? The guy who did Mad Max Fury Road. What, George Miller was going to make. Yeah, he's going to make a Justice League movie. Justice League, I think what it was called. And we would have had two Batmans at that point because of Batman Begins and all that shit.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, the guy who's going to play Superman, he looks more like Batman, in my opinion. I was trying to see if they had that, because I think there was an image of all of them. Yeah. It's not great. Because the guy who's going to play the Flash actually was in the Shazam movie.
Yeah.
Is this real? I think it is. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up in just a second. I think the Flash may have been even the villain.
Well, Maxwell Lord was going to be the villain.
Right. Oh yeah, they had posters and everything. I'd like to see what all they had. Did the script ever come out for that?
I'm not sure. I actually need to look into that because I'm curious. I mean, I love George Miller. I love his style. I mean, regardless of whether or not you liked Mad Max Fury Road, I thought visually it was pretty damn good.
This is what I found. I'm not 100% sure if this is it, but based on Wonder Woman, it looks like it's right.
I think it was. I think that's like the concept art that they were putting together. But
And it's from Collider. It's got the Collider logo up there, so that might be legit because I can't tell what's going on with Batman's costume, but he's got long ears, and I dig that.
Mhm.
And then Superman, no trunks. Aquaman looks pretty cool. I like the way it looks now, though. Wonder Woman, nah. I don't know. I'd rather see this.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, Superman Returns is kind of a disappointment, and it's just like what that Walter Hamada said about the Justice League. It's like a cul-de-sac, a creative cul-de-sac. There's nothing really going on after that, and I mean they had, I guess a lot of it had to do with not making any money. Army Hammer should play Batman now, in my opinion. I mean, he could be the younger Bruce Wayne Batman that Ben Affleck actually is, or do the Flashpoint story where he goes back in time and his mom's still alive, then he come back and it's a different Batman basically, but the same Batman, and they could make it him. Yeah, the Lone Ranger. My wife loved that movie. It was boring. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't really have too much to say. This is another one I don't have too much to say. I think I have more to say about Superman 3. I mean, Richard Pryor and Lex Luthor clone who has a really creepy sister. They're really super creepy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Superman Returns was a disappointment. I was pumped. I saw it twice. I was pumped after I saw it because Superman was back. But then after talking to my buddy who had thought about it for a couple of weeks, I was like, holy shit, you're right. They really screwed up. And then, a few years later, Marvel, that scene at the end of Iron Man, we were together in the theater when we saw that. He looked at me, he's like, see, this is what I'm talking about. I was like, yeah, sounds like they're putting together the Avengers. He's like, yeah, I know. They could have put together the Justice League a lot earlier, which at the time it was 2008, so they weren't even doing that. This was right before The Dark Knight even came out.
Yeah.
So, they're planning on making Batman v Superman movie long before Snyder. Yeah. Well, yeah, I Am Legend, and it was. I don't think it was Batman. Was it Batman versus Superman or Batman and Superman?
I'm not sure. I don't know if it really said the title. It was like the logo. Both of the logos put together.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure which one. I'm going to look it up again. Look that up too, because it just says it's just the logo. Well, no, I can't tell. It might say versus. That'd have been cool. Yeah, but I know they were leading to that, and I wonder if that was actually the plan after Man of Steel. If it was supposed to be Batman versus Superman originally, or if they Man of Steel came out and they're like, we need to do something like the Avengers, and they put Batman versus Superman because it's like Freddy versus Jason. Everybody wanted to see Batman versus Superman at some point for some reason. And we got that right after Man of Steel, and we didn't even get a Batman film in between to set Batman up. So a little bit of beginning was a Batman setup, and I like Batman a lot more, especially Ben Affleck's Batman. I'd love to see his own standalone movie, but that doesn't sound like it's ever going to fucking happen.
I think they were trying to develop a Batman and Superman movie back when the original Batman films were still going on, back when Clooney was Batman and all that.
With Nicolas Cage as Superman Reborn, the script by Kevin Smith. Did you ever see that the Superman Rebirth or whatever? Or what happened?
Yep.
It
was interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Very good. I'm glad it didn't happen though.
Yeah.
It would have been a bit of train wreck. I will say this gave me hope because I'm going to go back to this because I would love to see this happen again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that symbol looks like a yellow version of the Kingdom Come symbol, and I'd like to see that happen at some point, and maybe it will. Maybe it won't, but I mean, I think Brandon Routh would say yes to coming back. Why? Who wouldn't say yes to coming back? He broke the curse. I mean, his movie tanked, but he broke the curse. I mean, there was a Superman curse. George Reeves, Christopher Reeve. My brother's last name's Reeves. But I don't know. You got anything else to say about Superman Returns? Because I really don't.
Well, I mean, his Superman was really good, and
Yeah.
one of the things that I think Bryan Singer did better than, say, Zack Snyder, and I love Man of Steel, by the way. It's like one of my favorite Superman movies ever. But I thought that Superman Returns at least kind of got Superman right to a certain degree in terms of like the overall atmosphere and the awe and the optimism.
Mhm.
You know, it was very it wasn't like dark, you know what I mean? Like it kind of captured Superman pretty damn well of who he is from the comics.
Yeah.
One of the things I didn't like, how the red on his costume was more maroon. I just didn't like that at all. And
Looked like it was drunk Superman's suit almost.
yeah,
In Superman 3, he had that darker look. It's like, oh, he's a bad Superman.
yes,
Yeah, I agree
yes,
with that.
exactly. Yep.
If they would have made everything brighter, I mean, because the blue was good in the suit. But yeah, and for some, like I said, even when he wore the cape, it looked like it was rubber.
Yeah.
Like the CG looked really rough, but like even when he was just standing there, actually I wonder if it kind of does get a rubber look to it, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if I say pro and cons list of this movie, it was the cast, except for this is the pros, except for Kate Bosworth. I thought that was a poor choice for Lois.
Mhm.
She just didn't work for me, and I liked a couple of things that happened, but it was like, why wasn't there some kind of like bigger threat? I mean, Lex Luthor and Kryptonite again. It's like, I guess that it was like the Force Awakens in a way, where they brought back so much familiar stuff that, you know, it was like, let's get everybody back into the Christopher Reeve Superman, mode.
Yes, it was like they were too tied to the original movies.
And they shouldn't have been at all. I mean, they could have
Right.
done so much more. And, they could have gone off what Smallville was doing at the time, in a way, had a younger Martha and Jonathan Kent. That Brandon Routh was only like, shit, man. He was only like 25, I think, when he was cast. So he could have played Superman for a year. Like, even now he looks good.
Mhm.
I mean, how many times did I put this picture up? I mean, look at him. He looks amazing.
I think he looks better now than he did back in Superman
I do
Returns.
too. I do too. Look at him.
I mean, even that
He
picture.
doesn't have a baby face as much anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, that picture that you keep showing is really good, but like when you watch him in Crisis, just like his body, like it is more Superman-like, and
Yeah.
I love, the emblem is bigger. It's just
He was he was very slim in Superman Superman Returns as well. Not body shaming him for being slim or anything like that. The writing. Yep. Absolutely. That's the biggest problem with this movie. Is the
and that was a disappointment too, because it was from the same writers as X-Men 2. So that really got me. I was like, "Oh, cool! This is gonna be a great movie." But
yeah. I mean, you got pretty much the same production staff as the X-Men 2. And I mean, X-Men 2 was awesome. I don't think X-Men 2 holds up as well now, but back when I saw X-Men 2, it's like, God, this was awesome. This is one of the best superheroes. To me, it was better than Spider-Man, because Spider-Man 2 hadn't come out yet. But the writing was rough. And Metropolis felt small to me also. That was another problem I had with it. But the writing was bad, which led to a bad movie. But can we admit that Brandon Routh was good as Superman?
Oh yeah.
He was a young buck. And I wonder if they cast a young guy to play Superman to keep him around for a while, but it didn't work out because the movie was boring.
Yeah.
And it still is. Like I sat there and I got through the scene with the airplane, which is probably the height of the movie, in my opinion. The best part of the whole movie is him, saving the airplane, him catching it and landing in the baseball field. That was the best part of the movie. But I paused it, and it was like 42 minutes. I was like, holy shit, that's it? I got another hour and 45 minutes left in this movie. Hi, Dwayne. Chemistry with leads was null and void. Yeah, that's part of the problem with Lois Lane. Kate Bosworth was not good as Lois Lane. She was.
Correct.
Brandon Routh was great, and if you had somebody, you know who I liked for Lois Lane back then. Uh, oh shit, I lost her name. She was in Doctor Strange as his love interest or whatever. I can't think of her name
Was
now.
it Rachel McAdams or something like
Yeah,
that?
Rachel McAdams. She would have been awesome as Lois Lane, in my opinion. She embodied that Margot Kidder spirit. She had been in Mean Girls just before that, and she's blonde and everything. But her attitude as in Mean Girls, just there's a lot of Lois Lane in there. I still think she would have been a great Lois Lane. And if they ever brought Brandon Routh back, and I mean in Crisis, Lois was dead. Everybody that he knew was dead from something that happened. Bring him back and bring Lois back and bring her into the movie. Bring Rachel McAdams. She'd be amazing. She's got the chops for it, in my opinion. And I bet they would have. I did too, actually, in Chesterfield. Dwayne, you're from the area, so you know the big ass screen in Chesterfield. We actually saw that, and then we saw X3 because that came out shortly before that. I think came out the same year. I forgive that movie, by the way. I forgive X3. So, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of problems with this movie, and some of it's casting, but I do agree with Don with writing. Writing. Don Edwards says, yeah, big problems. Then Dwayne hits it right on the head with the chemistry, and part of it could have been because she just didn't give a shit because she was with another guy and had moved on, and she's mad at Superman and.
But I mean, it's not even that. It's like, Lois Lane is naturally feisty as a character, and they tried to do that with her, but Kate Bosworth just comes off as just like this dumb bitch.
She's got that look about her.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like there is a look about her.
Yeah,
Kate Bosworth just looks like. And has she been anything like in the last few years?
Oh, probably, but. I don't know, like she just doesn't come. She just doesn't even come off as Lois Lane to me. That it was like a weird cast, and she doesn't resemble Margot Kidder at all. Which is weird because they were trying to fit in with those earlier movies, and then just the way her character was written and the way she performs the character. There's nothing Lois Lane about her.
No. Nope. I think my internet's jacking up. Is my internet jacking up?
A little bit.
Seth, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Am I back yet? Is my internet still acting up? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My internet jacked up for a minute. Like, it was, why? It was because I was looking for a picture of Kate Bosworth as Lois Lane. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
So it froze on my computer. I'm like, okay, I won't look for a picture of Kate Bosworth.
That was the universe telling you something.
Yeah, absolutely. She was the worst. And the other thing is, I'm going to go back to Smallville because it all came, and this is what DC and Warner didn't want was people comparing, but the Lois Lane on Smallville, Erica Durance, was fucking amazing.
Yep.
There's people saying she wasn't. I've read things. People like she's not even close to Lois. I'm like, are you kidding me? Right away, she's calling Clark Smallville and busting his chops. It's like, yeah, she's Lois immediately.
She had the attitude.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They knew how to write her. I mean, that's what they should have got Gotham Millar or whoever. I think that's who they were, and had them come in and do a Superman treatment. Should have flipped the cast and had Parker. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yes.
Parker Posey would have been absolutely great as Lois Lane.
Yep.
I mean, did you ever see Scream 3? I agree with that 100%. I don't know. So for what it is, it's okay. I mean, we haven't even touched on the deadbeat dad aspect of Superman or whatever, or the stalker. I mean, that was the biggest problem that came out of this one. At least he didn't do what Wonder Woman did in Wonder Woman 84. Just saying.
Probably deleted scene somewhere.
I heard they're going to cut that out and cut that whole shit out and put it back on HBO Max without that scene. So,
Well, they should. The whole thing didn't make any sense anyway.
yeah, it didn't bother me one bit. She saw Steve Trevor, whatever. So anyway, yeah, I mean, Superman Returns is unfortunate. They wanted to find a way to bring Superman back. They did it the wrong way. It set him back at least 7 years, at minimum 7 years, because we didn't get another Superman movie for 7 years, which gave Smallville the chance to run its course. But what they were doing on Smallville, even though it wasn't in Metropolis, well, I think it was at the time in Metropolis. I think it was season 5 was going on when that came out. But like, what was going on in Smallville, even though it was a show and they get more room to work in the show, was so much better than what was going on in this movie.
Yeah.
The S on his chest stood for Stalker Man. Yes.
One of my favorite scenes.
What's that?
I was going to say, one of my favorite scenes from Superman Returns, before I forget, is when Lex Luthor shanks Superman.
Well, it's funny. Like, I didn't notice it, but like earlier in the movie, when they do the thing with the train set and everything, he breaks the piece off and he pockets that. I never noticed that before. And that's the piece he stabs him with. Yeah. So that actually, there's a lot of early stuff in the movie that I thought was cool, like Lex and the old lady. They come back and I thought there were 2 dogs, and the other one had the other dog, and then Kitty kept the dog. And I thought that was pretty funny. I mean, there was some good humor stuff, and like I said, even though Kevin Spacey has done some things that are undeniably disgusting, he was good as Lex Luthor. But yeah, as the movie dragged on, I should say, it just got worse and worse. I mean, there was they could probably cut that movie down about a half an hour and it'd still be boring. But
well, I agree.
Like every now and again, every couple of years or so.
Yeah. Well, I also think.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. The whole thing where Superman leaves Earth for like several years to go look for the remnants of Krypton was useless. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Totally fucking useless. Nothing but to set up that dumb drama between him and Lois, and it went nowhere, and it was useless, and it could have. I don't know. The script is bad. I mean, as someone else pointed out here, it's the writing.
It is. It's really bad, and I mean, they said it was 5 years. There's a prequel comic that I got because I was all in. The local movie theater had Daily Planet special issues and Superman Returns and stuff. I still have some of those. Sold one for $80 a couple years ago on eBay. But anyway, I think I really think that this is another one of those situations like I talked about Attack of the Clones. It's a movie of moments because you see iconic things like Superman, the Kitty, speeding through, and he grabs the car. I mean, that's literally off of his first ever appearance comic. Action Comics, is it #1? Anyway, he's holding the car, and then at one point, the globe on top of the Daily Planet comes down, and it's Great Caesar's Ghost moment. And I mean, those are just some iconic looking moments, and that's kind of what you get in this movie. Some iconic things. There was a lot of cool stuff. Seeing him fly was good in this one. It was still hampered by CG, but like there's that scene where he's flying and he spins and turns and uses heat vision, which I didn't like the way they use the heat vision. Reynolds even commented, he's like, the laser beams are better. I'm like, yeah, you're right. But that was cool to see him turn and fly because Christopher Reeve could never do that. Of course, they were very limited back then. So there were some cool things, but a lot of it had to do with updated effects work. Do you think the failure of 1998 Superman lives through the trajectory of the character off in films? Yes. Superman Returns try to be, I do actually, because there were so many different Superman scripts that came to Warner. I mean, there was one called Flyby. I think that was Abrams that he did. J.J. Abrams did. And there was another, I don't remember what it was called, but it was a a starting point, an origin story, Superman. And I think at one point they talked about doing Superman for All Seasons, which is a Jeff Loeb book, which I don't know how that would work. But yeah, I do. I think really like that movie. It might be Superman Lives' fault. Really, Superman. I call it Rebirth, Reborn. That was another one, Superman Reborn. Well, that was a thing. That was going to be a Superman movie. Or I mean, that's another script that came through. But yeah, I think the '98 failure, it set him back another 8 years, and maybe it set him back a grand total of 15 years because of Man of Steel. You know, because we didn't get a good Superman movie for 32 years, probably. We're talking Superman 2 to Man of Steel. I mean, I like Superman 3, don't get me wrong, but it's not as good as Superman 2 either cut, and it's not as good as Man of Steel. So,
Yep.
Yeah, I do. I think, Dwayne, I think you hit the nail on the head. So
well, it's like, well, the studios, they take in all these different pitches and from all these different writers, and you know, X-Men was the hot property at the time.
Yeah.
You know, and Superman Returns is the reason why Bryan Singer didn't do X-Men 3. So they brought him in, and he brought his team, his writing team from X-Men 2, and they pitched this idea of continuing on with Richard Donner. So it was just a matter of, you know, this was the choice that Warner Brothers made.
I wonder what X-Men 3 would have looked like with Singer. If it would have been the same movie or different.
I'm not sure.
Because he was working with those two writers quite a bit, Darty and the other one with X-Men. And that's one of the guys made Trick or Treat.
Yep.
But he had worked with them on 2 or 3 straight movies, I think. Even that, what's that one with the Nazis that he did? Because he did it after Superman, and I think they were a part of writing it too. With Tom Cruise.
Oh yes.
What was that called? Oh, Tom Cruise and the Nazis. That's what it was called.
Valkyrie, was it?
Valkyrie, yeah. Yeah, because I think that came out after. That was actually a pretty decent movie, in my opinion. Except for, of course, Tom Cruise didn't have an accent, which is weird. Yeah, Valkyrie came out in 2008. Oh, that didn't make any money. Was it coming out? This movie, Superman Returns, was a movie of creeps, if you think about it. Bryan Singer's a creep. They made Superman a creep, and then Kevin Spacey's a creep. So it's a movie of creeps.
Yep.
God. They did get Jack Larson in the movie, who played Jimmy Olsen in the old George Reeves Superman movie or show. So that was kind of cool to see. I don't really think they did much of that. The X-Men did, where they brought in Chris Claremont and Stan Lee in their movies, but having cameos, I appreciate cameos like that. Like we got to see Linda Carter at the end of Wonder Woman 84, a rape story. That doesn't even bother me. It doesn't bother me. It's whatever. Keep it in, take it out. It doesn't really matter. That scene probably didn't even need to be in the movie in the first place. Just like we probably didn't need to see Superman spying on Lois Lane. Right. I mean, to be in his corner on that, he was curious to see why she was so mad about Superman and see what she was up to. I guess that's okay, but it's really not okay. I mean, it's just like, how would you like it if an ex-girlfriend was outside your window watching what you and your girlfriend were doing,
Yeah, but I mean, he has to understand why she's mad. I mean, he
just read the fucking article that she won the Pulitzer for. Then you'll know.
Well, he sees that earlier in the movie too. But I mean, he boinked her, knocked her up, and bounced.
So that happened in the events of Superman 2.
Mm-hmm.
So how did the kid end up being super powered? Because he's human, all his powers are gone. He's no longer Kryptonian at that point. How the hell did he knock her up and make him super powered? And why did he have asthma?
Yeah, I know.
Well, the only reason I could even somewhat understand that is that scene in Man of Steel when Superman's on the Kryptonian ship and he has trouble breathing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But the kid is like 6 or 7 years old at this point, maybe even a little older, or he's gone for 5, so he's like 5 or 6 years old, and he's having trouble breathing the air still, or is it just trying to, oh no, this isn't Superman's kid.
That's what they're trying to do. They were trying to kind of have like this surprise for the reveal at the end with the piano.
That was cool. But hey, Brian Singer, you weren't fooling anybody. Okay, buddy. Yeah, you weren't fooling anybody. So, all right. Is there anything else you want to say about Superman Returns?
Nah.
So I guess the next one we're going to do is Superman 3. You want to try to aim for next Saturday?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so we'll do Superman 3 starring Christopher Reeve, Richard Pryor, and Annette O'Toole plays or Lana Lang, because Lois was like all they did in that movie was they wrote out Lois, brought in Lana, another new love interest, which is kind of an old love interest, and they wrote out Lex Luthor and brought in, I can never remember his name, Lex Luthor Light.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't remember. I haven't watched it in over a year.
Well, you're in for a treat because it's fun. This is Reynolds' favorite Superman movie, by the way.
Is it?
Superman 3, yeah. He thought Richard Pryor was awesome, and I don't blame him because Richard Pryor is awesome. I think Superman 3 is underrated. just like Michael Bolton in Office Space. Underrated movie, actually.
Well, it was Superman 2 kind of was like the peak, it's kind of hard to even compare to that.
But Superman 3 could have been a lot different. And, we talked about it last week with Superman and Wonder Woman, Superman 3 and Wonder Woman 84's credits being very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And am I freezing again?
No, you're fine.
Okay, cool. I thought I was freezing for a second. Anyway, I think I like Superman. I'm not gonna lie, I like Superman 3 quite a bit. It's not terrible. Is it? You think it's terrible? How do you feel about it? Just a little spoiler for everybody. How do you feel about it?
It's it's not one of my favorites, but it's fun. I love seeing Christopher Reeve playing the darker side of Superman in that movie.
The peanut flicking Superman.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Straightening up the Leaning Tower.
Yeah. Come on, Dick. Why is he being such a jerk? There's a lot of goofy stuff, like the scene with when God, what's his name in the movie? Richard Pryor's character's name in the movie. I can't think of his name. God, I'm having all kinds of trouble. I'll know it by the time we do the show next week. But Richard Pryor, when he goes to Smallville and talks to Brad, the most eligible guy in Smallville, that's trying to get with Lana, and that whole scene where they get drunk and they got to use the turnkey and all that stuff is so fucking. Even the music's goofy. And then of course Richard Pryor wears a goddamn military helmet, like a really bad. There you go. A really bad military helmet. I don't even know what that. He's supposed to be a general. He's got that thick ass mustache.
Yeah.
Tell you something. They don't allow mustaches like that in the military, no matter who you are.
Gus Gorman.
Gus Gorman. Yeah. I love Gus Gorman. I love this too, though. So we'll talk about Superman 3 next week. That'll be our next week's show. Counting down to number 1. The question becomes, after Superman 3, what comes next? Is it 2, Man of Steel, or Superman 1?
So this is pretty much me and you just doing a ranking of the Superman movies.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, and you know what? If you say Superman from the original one is next, I'm gonna that's me. I'm gonna be angry. I think that's better than Superman 2. And how do we do Superman 2? Would you just leave it at both of them, the Donner cut and the regular cut, or what? Oh man, we got a bunch of comments.
I mean,
Gus Gorman.
We can talk about both versions.
Richard Pryor says it's 2 hours too long. I don't know, man. I like it. Did you ever see Brightburn?
I fucking love Brightburn.
Brightburn was amazing.
Yeah,
I loved it. Yeah, I'd love to see a bunch of. I mean, God, the one scene in Brightburn that I really like was the scene where the guy's in the truck heading back, and he just picks it up and slams it against the ground. Man, cool movie. It's one I need to definitely see again. I really like Brightburn. I mean, it's basically this.
Yeah.
Right? The Brightburn kid as an adult. I hope they make more of those, right? Because it's definitely leading somewhere. Because did you ever see the Super?
Super? Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah, I love that. I love that fucking movie.
Yeah. And Brightburn, that was only 2 years ago. Let's see. I'm checking to see if they have any plans for a sequel because
they set some stuff up though, right? In the end credits, like a bunch of different like dark superhero stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because they made a reference to a half man, half sea creature terrorizing the seas. Rainn Wilson's character from the Super. Yeah. So there could be. It's in 2019. Producer James Gunn stated that he has discussed sequel was happening, but he's too busy writing and directing Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that's true because I mean Brightburn did pretty well, I believe, right?
I mean, it depends on the budget, but what I saw was like $30 million or something like that. But the budget was only 6 to 12 million and made 32.9 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, but I want to see a Brightburn sequel. You know what? If I don't see a Brightburn sequel, I'm just gonna be mad. So anyway, so next Saturday we'll do Superman 3. Richard Pryor's movie. I wonder why they cast him. I'm gonna have to look that up too. Actually, I have the Wikipedia page pulled up right here. It was comedic and campy. It made $100 million. Ross Webster was the guy's name. I'd also like to talk about Lois Lane's bikini. Did you see? Just watch and look at her bikini. It's like this big. It's weird. Anyway, do you guys have anything else before we go? We're gonna go because it's been almost an hour, and I don't like these. I like these being around 30 minutes to an hour. Any final thoughts from you?
Final thoughts. I'm mixed on Superman Returns. It's one of my least favorite Superman movies. It's boring to me. Even watching it today, I was kind of bored, and I turned
Is it better
off.
than Quest for Peace?
No, I don't think so. Quest
for
for Peace was a movie that knew what it is. It's a bad movie, but it knew what it is.
Yeah,
it's consistent in its tone. Whereas there was a lot of good elements to it, but poor execution.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. For me, I wish I could like Superman Returns. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those that I really wish I liked, and I really just don't. But I would like to see Brandon Routh come back as Superman because he looks great in each one of these suits. He looks awesome as Superman. He doesn't really look like Christopher Reeve all that much. I mean, let's take a look. No, they don't really look alike.
No, they don't. But he definitely has his mannerisms down, especially as Clark.
Well, I mean, all he had to do was watch 4 movies and then watch Bringing Up Baby with Cary Grant, and there's Clark Kent. But yeah, Superman Returns is just okay. I think Quest for Peace is a little bit better overall. Superman 3 is definitely better, which is what we're going to cover next week. Please go to Rage of Razor on YouTube, hit the subscribe button if you don't already. Hit the like button on the video on YouTube or here on Facebook. Facebook doesn't matter as much. Because y'all are my friends, so the people watching. Thanks, Alex, for hanging out. Jeremy, Dwayne, anybody who watched. We'll see you next time tomorrow. I think I'm gonna try streaming some video game stuff tomorrow again because I keep talking about it and I haven't done it. And then don't forget on Tuesday, An American Werewolf in London on the Horror Syndicate. And I'll stream something here ever so briefly on Tuesday. You all have a good rest of your Saturday evening. And don't forget to subscribe to Rage of Razor. We'll see you next